So you should have Canva open on the website www.canva.com, and we're gonna go ahead and click create design, and it's gonna ask us what we like to create. So we want to go down to custom size and click that, and then we want to go in and go to 8, or for the width we're going to do 11. For the height we're going to do 8.5, and it's going to tell you this dimensions must be at least 40 pixels and no more than 8,000 pixels, because I didn't yet set this to inches. So we have to set that to inches, and then the number is going to be wrong, so we'll just do 11, and then that'll automatically change to 8.5 if you have the aspect ratio locked. So once we got 8.5 by 11 inches, we'll go ahead and click create new design. Now this design right here is just like a regular sheet of paper. So first of all, what we want to do is go over to file, and then we want to go down to settings, and then we want to go down to show rulers and guides. Mine was already checked, so if you don't have it checked, you need to go ahead and go into there, and it'll pop right up, and you'll see the rulers at the top. Next thing we want to do is add some guides here. So we're going to go ahead and click on the ruler on the left side, and then we're going to drag it to the halfway point. And when you get to the halfway point, it's going to turn pink, and it's going to jerk and stick to the midpoint section. All right, so the right side is going to be our front, the left side is going to be our back. What we want to do after we have our layout set up is start to add our elements. So we're going to go into elements, and then we're going to scroll down to frames, and we're going to pick a nice frame. This time I would like to do a circle frame. I like to do circle frames, so we're going to click that. We're going to drag it right here into the middle, and then we're going to add a picture to this frame. So on the cover is going to be a picture of the deceased. It's going to go right in the middle, and whichever type of frame size or frame shape that you choose. And then you scroll down to where it says uploads, and you're going to upload the files that you need to use. So you'll click upload, and then once we find our files, we'll just click open, and then they'll load over here, and then we can drag and drop them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, once you click upload, your picture is gonna load right here, and then it's gonna take a second. When this bar depletes, then that means that you can now hold it, click, and drag over. And you might come into a situation where the head is cropped off or something's cropped in the wrong way. In that case, you just double click onto the frame, and you drag it down to where it'll fit properly, and then you just click away. Now you might come into an issue where if you drag it on here and it just sticks off to the side like this, and the reason it might do that is because you didn't drag it into the frame right there. So you got to make sure that it goes into the frame, and the frame will highlight in purple, and you just let it go. There we go. All right, now we're gonna pick a nice floral background to go with this. So you can use a free stock website to find backgrounds like this. Personally, I like to use Pexels, and Pexels is actually, if I'm not mistaken, Pexels is actually right inside here as one of the apps. So you can click on Pexels, and if you don't see Pexels here, you just click apps, and then you type in Pexels, and then click on it, and you click open, or maybe it'll say add or something, or download. But once you have it, you can search for free images. It says they're free, and we're gonna do roses. So I'll just type in roses, see what we come up with. I think I like this orange one, so we're gonna drag and drop that into here, and now it's on top of our picture. So what we want to do is right click, go to layer, and then go to send to back. And you can also do set images background if you like, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to blow it up a little bit, and then I'm going to click up here where it says transparency, and we're going to pull that down a little bit. Okay, now what I want to do next is color the background a darker color. So what we're going to do is click on our image, right click it, and then go down to layer and then go to show layers. And now I want to click this white background here, and we want to change that color. So we're going to click this background color up here, and then we're going to go to under photo colors. They'll pick your pictures and then they'll pull swatch colors out of that. So maybe you can move through these and see if there's something that you like. I think I like this dark brown, but then again, like I said, I might change it. For now, we'll go with that, and we will turn the transparency down even further. And I think I also want to flip it horizontally so that the flowers are mostly on the front. And just so this picture stands out a little bit more, we're going to click on the picture once, and then under border style up here above, we're going to click that, click the first one here, and then we're going to change the border color again to match the photos we already have. So maybe we'll do a red or a gold. I actually like that brown right there. That's cool. All right, so in most obituaries I've seen, at the top it's going to say something like in loving memory or remembering the life of, or something like that, as like a subtitle. And then we're going to add a text box, drag this up to the middle, and we are going to use the phrase in loving memory of. Now it's kind of boring, this font color and style. So the first thing I want to do is change the font to a color that's going to stand out a little bit more. So maybe we'll use this orange, or maybe we'll even go a little bit lighter to one of these colors. That looks good right there. But we also want to change the font. So when we click on the text and we click on font here, Canvas Sans, it's going to show us some options over here of what we can choose. Now I want to go into something that looks a little more elegant. So there's a category for elegant right there. We can click on that and then choose one of these serif fonts possibly, or if you want to, you can choose like a script font. That's a little bit tougher to read, but it's beautiful. So we're not going to use that this time. This time we're just going to stick to something that's a little more clear to read, and then we're going to bump that size up a little bit to maybe about right there. That's cool. Next, we want to put the person's name at the bottom. So we can actually just click on this, and then this little icon right here that says duplicate, we can press that, and it's going to make us a copy of that. And then we can just drag this down right here and try to align it. There we go. When you see those three pink lines, you know that the text is aligned top to bottom. So then we just double click into here and type in her name. Now we can get a little bit more fancy here with the name title. Let's increase the font a lot more. Maybe about 90 is fine. Okay, and then we'll click on it, and we want to move it up a little bit, and even move this up some too. Let's give it some more room on the bottom, and let's copy this again and put our last name. But let's change the font for the last name back to something that's a sans serif font would look great. So we can shrink that down so that it fits nice and snugly underneath the first name. That looks pretty good. Now let's change this color here. Let's just mix stuff up a little bit, shall we? Okay, let's make it I don't like gray. How about about white? Let's just make it white. Looks good. And we're gonna move these up once again. So now we have in loving memory of Jenny Jeffries, and then also on obituaries, usually I will see the date of birth. So that would be something like that, but usually it's smaller. And this could go at the top or the bottom, but let's just try the top for now. We'll duplicate that, and then the date of the passing. So let's get this to be nice and balanced here. And you also want to make sure that you don't have any text on the edge here. So we can even pull out another 1/4 inch bleed at the 0.025 mark, and again down here at the 8.25 mark, or as close as you can get it. Just telling us that we don't want any text to go past this area, because if it does, it could potentially get cut off when it's getting printed. So we got roughly a 1/4 inch edge all around so that our text won't get cut off. So we can bring this down a little bit more. All right, now we're gonna put the church or wherever the funeral service is gonna be held at. Okay, so we're gonna do the name of the funeral home, if that's where it's going to be held at. Maybe it's going to be at a church, or everybody's situation here will be different. So we put the name of where the funeral was held, and then we'll put the address. All right, and I guess we want the title to stand out more than the address. And we'll also have whoever's the officiating pastor. So we duplicate this, bring it down here. Okay, that will be the pastor. And we can put this in a different font color, make that stand out a little bit. And this is pretty much how our front would look. Let's put even more style into this. Let's go ahead and go to elements, let's go to our shapes. We're going to drag a shape onto here, and we're also going to send this shape backwards, and we want to do that. You want to make sure that it's not crossing over, or maybe you do want it to cross over to the back. That might be awesome. I think that looks cool, actually. I want to make some of this text stand out a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and click on her name. Whoops. So undo that. And then we're going to click on where it says effects, and maybe give it like a neon glow. Wow, that looks great. Looks really good. Okay. Also, what we want to put on here is somewhere in between here, or in this area, we want to put the date of the service. So we can pull this down a little bit, and let's duplicate this one here and bring it up here, and then we'll type in the date of the service. Okay, we'll type in that. Now we got our front taken care of. Now let's move on to the back side. So now the backside usually, well, it can have many different things. Sometimes there's a scripture, sometimes there's photos, but most of the time there's pallbearers listed. So we're going to do that. Let's go ahead and we're going to grab this text here and duplicate it and just move it over here to the back. But this time we want the color to be darker since it's on a lighter background. So we'll go with this dark brown right here, one of these. Yeah, let's go with this one. and we're just going to type in pallbearer. Okay, so we'll put the pallbearers on here, and there's usually 6 of them. So we'll just put one here. We'll copy that, bring it down here, a little bit less space than that. And then once we hit duplicate again, that's going to copy the same amount of distance. So that's convenient. And then we're going to duplicate that and move these guys over here. So we got good spacing in between them. And I still feel like this is a little tough to read. So we're going to grab another font and make sure that this is just a little easier to read for us. That's cool. I like that. That's easier to read. Okay, so the pallbearers will go there, and then we can even put like title at the top. We'll duplicate this and bring this up here, and then now we're going to use a light color. So we'll click again on the fonts, this color right here, and it'll say pallbearers with a capital P. Pallbearer is actually one word, so sorry about that. In reality, it would be everybody's different names here. So pallbearer, we can put this in a more fancy font. Let's go ahead and use this one here. So we're just gonna right click on it, copy style, and then a paintbrush or a paint roller is gonna pop up. So we're gonna click on a paint roller, and then it's gonna go ahead and make it the same as that. But it can be a little bit tinier, maybe about that size. So we're gonna do the pallbearers, and I feel like there's a misbalance here. So we'll pull this into the center, and then we'll make this part here not as thick so that we can list our pallbearers there. We can bring this down some more, and then we can have underneath, let's duplicate this and bring it down here, make sure that it's centered, nice and centered, and we'll put acknowledgements. And then under the acknowledgements, it would say something like, first of all, let's make it so that we can read it. Let's use white. It would say something like, the family would love to thank everyone who has supported us during this time, or some variation of that, whatever you think would sound best as far as an acknowledgement goes, a thank you. And then we're going to take the acknowledgement title one more time. We're going to duplicate that. So we got a little room up top, and sometimes I do a scripture, sometimes I do photos, and it seems like this time is a good time to do a scripture. So what I want to do is actually duplicate this, and we're going to shrink this size down and try to center it on here. And I actually want to round the corner, so I'm going to click this curve, this arc right here where it says corner rounding, and bring it up maybe about to there. That's cool. And we'll duplicate this text again and bring it up to here. We want to make sure that the alignment is to the right, and we'll do Matthew 11:28-30. So I'll type that in real quick. All right, so once you got the scripture that you choose, just make sure that your paragraph fits into the box here. Mine doesn't, so we're gonna have to go ahead and shrink this font down. And to be clear, you don't want to make the font too tiny. Like maybe 10 is the smallest you want to do. And I actually think this might look better centered. Yeah, that looks cool. And we'll grab both of these by clicking on the text box and holding the shift key, and then clicking on our background box, and then we're going to drag these down, and here we'll duplicate that, bring it up here, make sure that it's centered with pallbearer, and we're going to type in the scripture, which is Matthew 11:28-30. Hopefully I got my scriptures right and I'm not confusing them or mixing them up. So on the back side, what we're going to do is, typically you would just click add page, but what I'm going to do to save some time is just click on duplicate page, and it's going to give me a copy here, and I'm just going to rearrange this into the way that I want it to be for the inside. So inside page, what we do is an obituary first, right? And then we'll take her name, and we'll move this to the top, and we'll shrink it down so that it fits in here nicely, maybe even a little bit more. And we're gonna put at the top of this, we'll move this over, and we'll put the life and times of, and we'll make this a little smaller. Remember, never try not to go past size 10, just to make sure that people can read it easily. So we'll put that there, and we're really pushing it on the edge here, so we're gonna move all of this down. I'll just tap the arrow key, the down key, a few times to get it off the edge there. And now we're gonna fill in this portion with her obituary. Since we're doing the template design here, I'm just gonna paste in some placeholder text, and we want to just move this over here. Oh, sorry, move this over here so it fits, and we're gonna just go ahead and cut the bottom end so that it fits there. This is gonna be our page 3 technically, and then this page will be our last page. But what I want to do is shrink this down, put it right here, shrink it down some more. We don't want this circle to get cut off, right? We talked about that already, so we'll shrink that down even more, and we'll do that. That looks good. All right, looks great. Okay, now for this last page, this would be like the very last page in the obituary. I actually want to try something a little different that I've never done before. So I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this. And I had this idea, and I'm not saying I invented it or anything. It might already be something that happens, but I wanted to leave a space where a person could write in their own obituary when they're being passed out. A person could write in their feelings, or a person could write in their own memory of a time that they had with the person that passed away. So I want to go ahead and make that in here, like just do like some notebook lines or something. So what I'm gonna do is, and I've never done this in Canva, so we're about to figure this out together. All right, so we're gonna go to our, maybe it's in elements. We go to elements, and I already see there's a line right here called a shape. So we're gonna put this in here. We're gonna bring it down to right here, and I want to expand it like that. And then what I want to do is edit the color. I would like to be a black line, and it's way too thick, so we're gonna do like one point. That looks good. And then I'm getting this weird snap thing going on. All right, cool. So now what I want to do again, like I did before with the duplicates, is just click on that line, click duplicate, and give it about that much room, I suppose. Duplicate again, and then like a space where they could put their name. So they will write in, like, because of something I noticed with obituaries, people sometimes have to decide who can have their memory printed into these. So I thought it'd be cool if there was just a blank space where somebody could personalize the copy that they get and make the keepsake a little bit more like sentimental. So yeah, I think this would be cool, and I kind of want to see if I can get like a texture. Let me see. Paper. So they do have like textures, but most of them are look like they're paywalled. Yeah, let's get like a parchment vibe going, you know what I'm saying? So let's turn this sideways. And I just really like, I was looking for something that had a texture in it, and this is perfect. So we can do that. Now we can remove this one, and with this one we'll just send to the back, and we'll take all these lines here, and then we'll just bring them in a little bit, and then we'll even leave an instruction here that says like what was your favorite memory with, what's your favorite memory with Jenny? So we'll put that here, and then we'll put write it down here on the parchment paper. So I think maybe this is too fancy for the instructions, so let's bring that size down. Let's bring this down even more, and now we're below that 10 points, so let's enlarge it here. Okay, so let's go down to the next two pages we're going to be doing, which is page 3 and 6. So this is, just to recap, this is page 1 and 8. This is page 2 and 7. Now the next page, I'm just go ahead and duplicate again. We're gonna go ahead and hit that. This next page right here is 3 and 6, and I have a video where I show exactly how to lay this out, like as far as the page order goes. So if you want to see that, just go ahead and click this link right here. I'll try to put it somewhere on the screen or something so you guys can check that out, or maybe I'll just leave it in the comments below. So yeah, that's we're gonna go ahead and copy this page, and then we don't want the page to look exactly the same, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our layers again, and we're gonna go down and we're gonna grab this parchment here because we don't need this anymore. We'll delete that, and we'll delete all these lines here. You could just scroll up, hold the shift key, click on it, and then click the delete button. Okay, so next thing we want to do on page 6. Page 6, let's do like some tribute stuff, right? So we're gonna go ahead and get a little bit more fancy once again, and we'll write, we'll delete that, we don't need that, we'll delete that, and here we'll just write tributes, right? So we're gonna drag this over to page 6, and it's a little too big, I think, so we'll drag that size down, and we will also put tributes on page 3. So we're gonna go ahead and move that to that center spot, and we're gonna go and repurpose this once again. What I want to do is put some pictures, so we're gonna have maybe like 3 or 4 pictures along the side where the family can post pictures of, you know, themselves with the deceased, or maybe just a photo gallery of, like, you know, friends and family, people that were important in her life, things like that. So we're gonna shrink it down a little bit, and we're gonna replace all of these in just a second. But before I do that, I want to duplicate it one more time and bring it over here to this side also. Right, so now we're gonna have tributes, and I would like to shrink this down to about that size, bring this up, This maybe can go like that, I suppose. And we'll duplicate this, bring it over here. So now we got 2 nice spaces where we can type stuff up. This person saying something. This person has a memory. The next person has a memory. They have a memory, and they have a memory. Right? And then we just duplicate. So everyone has a space. Like this could be like, you know, close families or friends, 10 of them that can leave a memory in here or a special message that they want to say. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and switch out these pictures for family members. So give me a second so I can do that. And the easy way to do that is just like we did before with the picture. You just go into your photos, your uploads, and then you just click and drag into the space, and that's how you do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill these in with some family photos. I'll be right back. All right, so in this page I would like to flip the colors around. So we're gonna make this part the dark color and these will be the light color. So again, let me see. Oh, that's dope too. Okay, we'll just, yeah, we're gonna move this over here. We're gonna give it the same color we just had, and then we'll send this to the back. Layer, send to back. Looks cool. So we're gonna remove that also. And we're gonna grab some color here, and we're gonna duplicate this. I can't seem to grab it right now, so let me see. Let's go to our, all right. So duplicate that. Make sure everything's aligned nicely, and then send to the back. So now we have like the tribute and the message with the pictures. So we can center this over tributes. Looking pretty good. Okay, I just want to put a little bit more fanciness on these backdrops here. So we're gonna go ahead and add a border. 4 is a little too thick, maybe 2 or 1. And we're gonna use, whoops, we're gonna use this color. Yes. And then for the other one, cool. Page 3 and 6 looks good. So now the next pages we're gonna do is duplicate this again. Are gonna be pages 4 and 5, which are the last 2 pages, and they also happen to be the center. And what we want to do for this is 2 things. We're gonna put some photos, and we're gonna put the order of service. So let's figure out a creative way to do that. Okay, so we're only going to use, since it's the middle page, we're going to put memories right in the center like that. And there will be more photos. And then we're also going to put the order of service. So the order of service will go right here in the center. And then we'll have pictures all around it. Let's duplicate this, bring it down to here. And we're gonna type in order of service. Okay. Now order of service is pretty, it can vary, obviously it's gonna be different from funeral to funeral. So I'm just gonna make like a placeholder of things that might happen in this order. So we're gonna do processional first. Let's make the font a little bit bigger, and let's center it, duplicate. Maybe they'll do a scripture next, and then maybe they'll do a prayer. Now, if you haven't noticed, a number pops up sometimes, and that pink box with the numbers is telling me that all of my distances are equal. So we're gonna do, let's do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Sorry, let's shrink these down. Size 15 is cool, I think. Right, we're gonna put them right here and make sure the font is centered. Okay, maybe we want to do 10 of these, but let's fill them out. So maybe there'd be like a song selection next, and then next some words of comfort, perhaps, and then remarks, obituary reading, another song selection. Now, on one of my other videos, somebody asked me, like, doesn't the order of service go on the second page or the first? Like, I think they said the second page, and that's probably true for like most common obituaries, but I honestly don't really think it matters where it goes, because the order of service is it's just telling you the order of which they're gonna present things. It's not telling you the order of which the book is gonna be in. So it can be on any page, in my opinion. So after the song selection, maybe a eulogy, and then recessional. Right? And we're gonna put pictures all around the top, because that's a good way to bring back some good feelings, is to have a lot of good different memories of people throughout life. So we're gonna do that. I like having that inside the obituaries. So all right, let's go back into our layers here. We're gonna right click on anything that'll let us on this page, and then we're gonna go to show layers. You can also do a shortcut Alt+1. And what I'm gonna do is get rid of these. We're gonna make some pictures bigger than others. So we'll resize that one, resize this one. So once you have your obituary done, you got all 4 pages, or in this case, it's actually 2, 4, 6. It's actually 8 pages in this case, even though it's a 4-page document. Once you have all your pages the way you want them, you're gonna go ahead and hit the share button, and then you're gonna go to download. And then it's gonna suggest PNG, but what you want is a PDF print. It says best for printing. Now the color profile says RGB is best for digital use, and so you want to pick CMYK for professional, but they paywall the professional. So if you don't want to pay for this or even go through the free trial, you can still do RGB. Fair warning, the colors might come out a little different than what you anticipate, so maybe print one out first and see how it looks. If not, then you can sign up for the premium version and check off CMYK and print that out. You want to make sure all the pages are selected. You want to flatten the PDF for file space, for file size preferences. Keep the file size nice and small. And if you want to put your crop marks and bleed marks on there, you want to check that off so you know exactly where to cut. And then after that, you just hit download. And I really appreciate you guys following along and checking it out. I hope that this has been helpful to you. And if you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to leave them in the comment box below, and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. And I really, really appreciate you guys watching. I really love the response and reception that I get from making these. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for supporting, and I'll see you next time. Peace.